Recently, we have been pondering what cookie products would be better to make in summer. Then, a fan asked for mint desserts. So here it is. Initially, I wanted to make mint scones. I even bought that green packaged mint chocolate. I purchased it. However, I wasn't satisfied with the final product's texture. Instead, we created our own mint chocolate cream cheese filling. Oh, this one is really delicious. It was originally paired with a chocolate cookie base. But after using this black butter cookie base, I thought it looked cooler. So we came up with this new product. The name is still undecided. So let's leave it up to you to decide. Mix 120 grams of butter with 80 grams of powdered sugar first. This cookie base is really not difficult at all. Whether sold in stores or made at home, it's very simple. There are definitely some details to consider. Reminders are also essential. This is to prevent everyone from messing up during the preparation process. The weather is already very hot now. The butter softens very quickly. And it's easy for it to become oily during the softening process. The edges may become greasy. The solution is definitely to turn on the air conditioning. The eggs used are 33 grams of whole egg liquid. Add it in 2 to 3 batches. After mixing each time, add the next batch. Sift 210 grams of cake flour, 24 grams of deep dark cocoa powder, 2 grams of bamboo charcoal powder. Note that the cocoa powder used is deep dark cocoa powder. This is also for coloring the cookie base. Then add a tiny bit of bamboo charcoal powder. This will make the overall black color more pronounced. Bamboo charcoal powder is very light in weight. It can easily float everywhere. We usually mix them together and then sift. Then press and mix evenly. There is no need to whip. Mix until there are no dry bits remaining, then you can stop. The cookie dough is considered ready. This process is really quite simple. The only thing to pay attention to is room temperature. It can't be too low in the winter. It can't be too high in the summer either. Butter is indeed quite delicate. You need to soften it to that toothpaste-like consistency. The overall texture of the cookies will be the best when made properly. The condition of being overly softened. You can actually see it while you're mixing. The batter is leaking oil quite seriously. If it's leaking oil like that, the whole cookie won't turn out well after baking. In summer, I'm actually more worried about your issue with oversoftening. So, let me emphasize again the storage of thick cookies. Usually, it can be refrigerated for about a week. If frozen, it can last without issue for half a month. If you're worried about the cookie base getting moist after assembly, you can keep the filling and cookie base separate. Assemble them again when selling. Just make sure the cookie base is fully baked. Store it in a sealed container. It won't soften even after 2 weeks. Roll it to a thickness of 3 millimeters. Refrigerate for more than half an hour. During this time, we'll prepare the filling. 120 grams of softened butter. Beat it for about 1 minute. Add 36 grams of mint syrup. This mint syrup is key to the flavor. The quality must be good. I've tried several types of mint syrup. The texture and flavor are different in the end. Some mint syrups might not have any mint flavor at all. That would be really embarrassing. The blue colorant used is Sennelier's Sky Blue. 2 drops, for mint products. We usually adjust it to this color. "100 grams of cream cheese. It should also be softened in advance. After adding it, just keep whipping. There is no set time for whipping. Just whip until you are satisfied with its evenness. Finally, let's cut this dark chocolate. I'm using 25 grams of 65% chocolate. Don't cut it too finely. It will get smeared by the filling. This will result in an unattractive overall color. You also shouldn't cut it too large. This will make it inconvenient when you squeeze. Of course, this is a minor detail. It won't affect the success or failure of your creation. Just this kind of cookie filling. I suggest you definitely refrigerate it. Eat it after it hardens. When you take a bite, it's just like eating that crispy ice cream. The size of the cookie base is really up to you. Like the one in my main image, which was made using a mold that's a size larger than this. You can also cut it into pieces. Cutting into pieces is actually the best option. It won't waste too many materials. Although I have the air conditioning on here, the room temperature is still a bit high. You see, if I take a little longer to operate, the whole cookie will become soft. This can easily lead to the cookie losing its shape. The solution is to refrigerate it. Once it hardens, transfer it to the baking tray. The oven used today is the Chandi Cat Little Easy Pro. Bake at 170 degrees with top and bottom heat for 16 minutes. Dark cookies. It really is hard to judge its baking color. Some classmates' ovens run at a higher temperature. It is advisable to bake at 150 degrees for a more stable result. Here's a tray. Both top and bottom have been lined with a mesh mat. After baking, you can see the comparison. All have been lined with a mesh mat. Overall, they come out very flat. The one that only has the bottom layer lined. The surface of the cookie has uneven marks. This really depends on your personal preference. Some classmates prefer flat ones. Then you definitely need to have an extra mesh mat. The rest is just assembling. If you like that thick cookie effect, I suggest you squeeze the filling on both sides like I do. Didn't a classmate mention before that smoothing the edges is too troublesome? So this time let's just switch to squeezing. This is still very convenient. Saved another step. It's great, so that's why it's simple to make. As long as you pay attention to those little details, this will definitely not fail. I saw this in the group before. Some friends even made the mint syrup themselves. That flavor is truly all natural. I recommend everyone to try it in the summer. Click on my profile picture to go to my homepage. There are many practical baking tutorials waiting for you to check out.